Hey friends, welcome to Garden Fun with Paulie. I'm Paulie and I wanted to just take a moment to properly introduce you to my channel. In my channel, what I really want to do is just have fun and promoting some of the fun ideas that I'm going to be doing throughout my property here that I call Patch of Heaven. And I've had been here 16 years. I'm in Stockbridge, Georgia, which is about 30 minutes south of Atlanta, and I've done a couple of projects over the years, and then I thought we would leave our home and stopped doing projects, but now due to different types of circumstances we are going to be here. I think this will become our permanent home, our forever home, and I really want to explore and expand on some of the projects that I started. Some of them I have to revamp, some of them I just want to do, and I'll show you what I'm going to be doing in those areas. I've done a couple of projects already, and some that I will have to restart again. Of course, as fun as the gardens are, when you start to establish them, they do tend to change because things die off. Things no longer work where they initially started off with your idea, and so I'm kind of excited about that, and I thought I could share those ideas with you. In the past few years, specifically during COVID, I'm sure a lot of you have come across that. We've gone through a lot of ups and downs. We've been very stressful. We've been very just taken by things in our lives that just take us away from being happy. And I come to recognize and realize that I'm an artist in nature, and in my profession I design carpets, but I also paint and I do poetry, and I have a little bit of fun with those things, but I haven't been able to really just get out of my head, so to speak, because I think that it's really good to be able to enjoy a stress-free environment. And if you can find those things, and if gardening happens to be yours, I definitely implore that you do it. Have fun. And some of the things that you try may not necessarily work, but keep trying at it. Go and watch videos like these, like this one here. I personally watch Garden Answer with Laura and the Southerners Northern Garden. I can't remember the gentleman's name, but he's really nice, really cool, and I've learned a lot from him. Hooked and Rooted, I think her name is Steph. I've really enjoyed watching her. And Gardening with Creekside, I think her name is Jenny. And a couple other ones, and one that I really love is I think it's from the BBC. Her name is Carol Klein, and I think she's so awesome. One day I would love to meet all of these guys. That they just bring something to me as a gardener, and I sometimes I feel like I'm not, but I have to recognize that if it brings me happiness and I get to bloom things like this, and I guess I'm a gardener, and it's quite fun. And I'm a novice to certain things, but I'm also have experience with other things, and so I've learned a lot from my grandfather. I've learned a lot from my father-in-law, who recently passed away, and my mother-in-law. So hopefully I'll get to put those things into action on some of the projects that I want to do. So come along and join me. I hope you get to really enjoy some of the things that I'll be sharing, some of my tips, and some things that you guys might be able to share and say, hey, maybe you should do this. So I welcome it, and thank you for joining me on Garden Fun with Paulie. Let's get some fun gardening. All right. So really quickly, this is the back of my home. I need to do some power washing, but as you can see here, we've done this back porch and patio space a couple years ago. I would say 2016, 2017, and so I've been building little by little. Unfortunately, sometimes we just don't have the funds to do it right away, but we do it little by little. Everybody could do it. If you have a vision and you have a vision for your home and you have a plan, do it. Even if it takes a little bit of time, it takes a little bit of movement and a little bit of budgeting and that kind of thing, but do it, because this is your home, your space, and I think everybody could do it. And just know that things do take time. But really quickly, and I think I've showed this before, this past year, no, it was last August, last fall, I think it was like September or August of last year, I ripped this whole area up with these impatiens here where you're seeing, and it had all these Mexican petunias in there, and I took those out, and I did these little four round circular pockets of beds inside one bed. It's interesting. It's all pea gravel. It was supposed to be a walkway, and I ended up just doing this kind of fun stuff there. And so I'm kind of hoping that I can continue this walkway, pathways kind of thing with pea gravel, and I'll walk you through. Let me just show you right here. So this is this new area that, well, it's not new. I've had this for a while, and here's what I call the Grand Canyon. I call it the Grand Canyon Garden because it just reminded me, and I've never been to the Grand Canyon in all of my life until this summer, but I just called it the Grand Canyon, and it was quite fun to see how some of the stuff kind of, you know, it's just reflective of that space and that allness of those rocks. So here is what I call the Grand Canyon, and I've had this pea gravel pathway here, and I wanted to keep it like that, although I could have pushed this out and made a bigger bed, but I wanted it to have a little bit of pathway because I've got to get into the stairs and these little areas, and then unfortunately the garbage can that's over there. And this little path, this little patio space, and this little I think it's a gazebo. I don't know what it's called, but I did this, my wife and I did this little flat surface patio space for our son's graduation 3 years ago. It's crazy how time is flying. And we put this little gazebo space here we got from Sam's Club, and it was such a really easy thing to build that I built it myself, and then we bought the furniture from Walmart, and then, you know, so little by little. But anyway, I think I'm getting off of the topic here. So this is about an acre. The whole property is an acre and a tenth, but back here it's perhaps a good, maybe a third of an acre back here. And we have this dollhouse that I got from my neighbor. Literally right behind this dollhouse is where my neighbor Miss Paulie lives, and she's been super sweet, super kind. So she gave me this dollhouse for my daughter, and so this is not in use, but I have to do some fixing, and what I'm going to do with this space is make a chicken coop. I haven't done it yet because it's been a very crazy year, but I'm going to do a little chicken run and have the, hopefully, I keep saying I'm going to have 3 chickens, and I pray that I stick with 3 chickens. We'll see how that works. But here we've got some knockout rose bushes, and we have also got some Rose of Sharon, and we've got some dogwood trees, which are so beautiful in the springtime. And then we have here a big beautiful bed of lantanas, and it's one of my favorite spots in the summertime because it just fills up with such beautiful flower, beautiful pink, orange, reds, yellows. It's just such a beautiful space, and the butterflies and the bees just come here, and you have such a wonderful array of little pollinators just doing their thing. And this year, and I don't know, I might be in trouble for it, I'm seeing some clematis. So they're spreading. Those are wild clematis, and I don't know if I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I don't want them to be invasively taking over because this is a special bed and I want to make sure it's protected. And here's another extension of that. I had to plant a new one here, of lantana, so I'm hoping that that will keep spreading. And I got to go in there and clean it up again. And as you can see, I'm already starting to get rid of some of these overhanging limbs and stuff that keep growing. They just keep growing, and you got to keep cleaning. And I've got some rocks over here, and those rocks are going to go around this tree. I'm going to clean this tree. This is I named this tree after my son Matthew, and it puts a beautiful pink flower, and I can't remember what it's called at the top of my head right now. But I got some rocks already trying to wrap around, but I'm going to clean that out. I'm going to try to get some flowers in there for next year, but I got to figure out which ones would work really well, where they're just drought resistant perennials that will keep it so pretty, you know, without having to be worrying about getting it clean and, you know, all that other stuff that could come with beds like that. And what I wanted to do is all this area, I'm going to step back, all of this area, and right there I have a blood good Japanese maple, this guy right here. So you already see I started to do it. I put a little rock border around here, and I've got some impatiens in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to go naturally, go around, just go really carefully, do a natural roundness around this whole back area, and start putting pea gravel and put little pockets of beds. I already have beds back here, but I want to make sure that this whole area is going to be just all pea gravel. When I started to get bags, I need to buy, obviously I need to buy more. Little by little is how that's the only way I can do it. And it also gives me something fun to think about, because I can't do it in one shot. Unfortunately, I just don't have the funds to do it in one shot. So I'm excited about doing this. I've got there's a Rose of Sharon, which I named after me. This is Paulie. Hey, Paulie. And I never call any of my trees my name, but this time I did. And I've got a couple of azalea bushes here. My wife wanted some azalea bushes throughout the entire back of this backyard, back part of the backyard. And let me go back over here so you can see really quickly. Got some right there, some Encore Azaleas, which means that they come back they come back twice in a year. So they come in the spring and then they come back in the fall. So we're almost 24, what did I say, 24 days from where the fall starts. And I'm sure these guys will start popping and looking really pretty. I've got a Loropetalum, and interesting, you see how she's supposed to be purple, and I see her green, so I don't know if it's our dogwood here. I'll show you the dogwood is covering, and I hate cutting dogwoods. I don't want to do it. I think I might have to though, because these guys need flower. They need some light. It's not a shady kind of bush, but I didn't realize that it was when we planted it that it was going to be doing this. Anyway, we'll figure it out. And this beauty here is a gardenia. This is such a beautiful bush. You know, gardenias, they smell so beautiful. And oh, here is one of my beautiful Leland Cypress, and her name is beautiful too. There's a beautiful one over here on the right side of me, and then it's beautiful too. And she's just a beautiful little, not big. I mean, she's not small anymore. She was small, now she's huge. But she's not a little baby anymore is what I'm trying to say. She's just gorgeously big. And I've got a couple of other things here, other trees that just grown on their own. And this is a snow goose cherry tree. And I named this one after my best friend, Shella. So I had to put a little rope there because she was leaning a little bit weirdly. And then all this other stuff is, and you got a Encore Azalea bush. This one is just an azalea bush, but I can't remember the type. But the brand, the company I brought it from, I can't remember the name, but I'll put it on this video. And then we've got these, I can't remember the name of this one either. It's so annoying and so invasive. So I gotta keep an eye out for that. As you can see, they're all over the place. And look at all the seeds. All the seeds, and they just spread. And if you don't cut them back, and I try not to put, you know, any chemicals or anything like that to my garden. I really avoid it at all costs unless I have to. Like, we've got poison ivy, which is in here, and I don't I have to spray with that because I'm highly allergic to it. But you know, it's one of those things that I try to avoid. But anyway, I just wanted to show you what my new project is going to be. So all this whole area here is going to be all pea gravel, and I will do a nice little shape, an organic smooth shape, because obviously I have to get lawnmower on this side of the, see all that, it's all grass. So I'm going to be cutting all of that grass at some point, but I need to make sure that that this side is pea graveled. And I've got a couple of other projects to go in here, and particularly right about here I want to put a square, I would say a good 3 foot, 4 foot type of planter with some tile that I wanted to do. I saw this in Sedona. We went there this summer, and I loved that they had this beautiful planter. It was just a perfect square. I'll show a picture. I'll put it in here. And I'm going to do two. I'm going to put one on this side of Matthew, my tree, and on this other side over here, somewhere right about here. So, and then put a tree, maybe a butterfly bush that I can control, and it'll be right next to the lantanas, and then the butterflies can enjoy them. But I'll have to figure that one out and kind of just see where it goes, because sometimes you kind of have a plan and sometimes it just doesn't fall the way you want. So I love the loosey-goosey thought process of it all, because it's not ever going to be exact. You've got to give yourself some wiggle room. And then I wanted to show you really quickly right here, from there all the way down to my Matthew tree, is what I'm going to do is a path from all the way back here all the way to that end to where the fire pit is pea gravel, straight fat in the middle. I think I'm thinking a good 4 to 5 feet wide, and then I'm going to have beds of flowers on the left and flowers on the right. So I might put lavender and Russian sage and some others that will be perennial, and just do something really fun with that. And then that's going to be the gist of that for now, because then I want to try to see if I can get one of these aquascape kits that they have, that I saw on Garden Answer with Laura and the guys that did that. I want to try to do something like that and put one here. And as you can see, look at the mess. We've cleaned this bed so many times. We did it back in April, March, and look at that. I don't even know how we got a crepe myrtle into this garden, into this pile of beautiness. I have knockout roses and all in here, but of course birds, they nest in there, and they bring, you know, they eat their seeds and their berries and stuff like that. And you know, obviously they come and they do stuff, and breaks down and goes into the soil, and you know, then new things pop up. Poison ivy, poison this, and all kinds of things that I don't want to have. And over here, I want to show you really quickly, on the side of the house right here is a camellia, Sasanqua, I think it is. Got beautiful I mean, the flowers are like massive. I mean, they're huge and they're so beautiful. And then right next to it is a Shiloh Creek. Now, I am trying to figure out if that's correct, because it's got to be a Shiloh Creek because it puts a beautiful purple flower. And let me see, you can see some of it still here. Look at that. This whole tree is just filled with that, but it already put her flowers for the year. And let me see if I can get this to focus. Yeah, see, it puts, it's already done for the year, but I'm gonna try to do something here and clean all, I have to clean all of that out. Look at that. Yeah. You know, you clean it and then it comes back, and if you don't stay on top of it, it just does its own thing, and that's just the beauty of nature. So over there's I think it's a Leland Cypress and Arizona Cypress, which is the lighter green, and they smell so good. They're so beautiful. So those are all over there. This is a plum tree right in front of us, right there. And I've got another Japanese blood good Japanese maple. So that's what's gonna go on for now. And it might take me some time, but I'm looking forward to doing that. Here's my fire pit. I think I might redo my fire pit. I had logs here that I had from a project, and I thought, well, let me recycle it. And I actually had to buy 2 extra ones just to kind of finish it off, and I put some pea gravel in here. But that was a couple years ago, but as you can see, there's grasses growing in there, and that Bermuda grass is like annoyingly trying to pull those out, and they keep coming back. And I don't want to put chemicals in it, but I'll just have to figure that one out. But anyway, that's the scoop. That is the scoop. So, you know, that's pretty much what I wanted to show you in this video. Some of the projects that I want to be able to accomplish. It's going to take some time. I know, you know, like I said, sometimes you just don't have the funds to do that. To do all the projects in one shot. But I think it's quite fun to build over time. Personally, personally, I would like to do it in one shot if I had the funds, but you know, I think over time is also fun to see how things develop. And I noticed that if it doesn't work out, you know, okay, I thought this would work out here and it didn't, you know, it's okay. It's fun. It's okay. And I want to be able to have some opportunities to de-stress, and just be mentally healthy and happy. And I think gardening does that for me, and I hope that it does the same for you if you are interested in gardening. Not everything is it shouldn't always be just work, right? It should be some TLC for yourself when you can. And so I'm looking forward to it. I hope that you will join me again on another video, and have fun and be kind and happy gardening, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you so much for joining me today. Okay, bye.